Hello everyone, welcome to Junkcast. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom radio button using CSS. When you're going to have a radio button on your web page, by default, your radio button will look something similar to the one which I'm showing in the browser. So if you want to have a custom radio button where you can define your own color on the radio button, then we need to go with we need to use custom CSS to override the default behavior. And one more point, I just want to share you like if you can look at this web radio button, we are seeing the dark blue color and a white dot in the center of the circle. Since I'm using a Chrome browser, the appearance will be like a dark blue color, but it may vary on browsers like Firefox or IE or Safari. To have a standard pattern across all the browsers, most of the developers started building the custom checkboxes or custom radio buttons across on their framework. If you look at the material design radio button, you may see a custom kind of radio buttons instead of a native radio buttons. So let's look at the code here. So let's type the heading custom radio buttons CSS. Okay. So here like I have like a two form fields where I'm going to have my input radio button. So by default, this input type radio is going to give this native behavior, and this particular section input radio background, input radio outer circle, input radio inner circle. So this is the place where I'm going to create my custom radio button styles. So let's go to the let's start the coding one. Okay. So the first thing we just want to do is like so input radio display inline block. So I'm going to align my radio buttons. I'm going to align both of the radio fields to be inline. So the next thing I want to do is like to hide this native radio element. So in order to hide that one, so what I can do like I can go and grab this class. Here I'm using a native class. I'm using a class, but you can also target the attribute something like input type radio. So I'm targeting in such a way like input radio and then the native class and say position absolute and opacity 0. So by having these two properties itself, your native radio button will not be appearing on the page, but still for safer side, like just go and have the z index stack to be on the first, and then I'm going to have my default top as 0, left as 0, right as 0, and then I'm setting a width of 40px for a height of 40px. So even though the native element is hidden from the page, still you can see their property like it is somewhere located in the web page only. Web page. So now I need to. So the next thing I just want to outline or like I need to set the outline properties for the for the background of that circle. So in order to do that, I need to target this input radio background class. So we'll go the input radio background and say like display. I'm going to make this one display inline block, and then I'm going to say like position relative, and then box sizing as border box, then set the width as 20px, height as 20px. So the intention of having the position relative is like since like this outer and inner circle we will be using a position absolute. So whenever you are going to have a position absolute, the parent should always have the position relative property. So now we are going to decorate the outer circle. So just copy and paste this CSS and then go one more level, outer circle. And now I just gave that position absolute. And then say border sizing as I'm sorry, so box sizing, it's box sizing as border box, and I'm going to set this width as 100% so that it will occupy the width 20 px and height 20 px of the background one, and again say like height has 100%. And now so let's define I'm not using the shorthand border property. I'm just using that normal syntax. So border style is solid. So if you look at the page, we got a Q. I just want to convert into a circle, so say like 50% as border radius. Yeah, now we got a circle, and again I'm just going to define the border width of the circle. So let's say like 2 px. So now we got the 2 px of the circle. Okay, so we just created that basic container infrastructure of that circle. Now by default, I want to show my radio button with a different color. On selection, I should show with a different color. So for targeting checked versus unchecked, what we can do something like input radio, and then I need to capture the pseudo properties of this native control element. Then say like dot native control. If that is not checked, then apply the styles on the outer circle. So copy and paste this one. Now I need to define my border color. So since we already defined the properties for the circle, I just want to update the border color alone. So RGBA, I'm going with hexa code with saturation RGBA. So say 0, 0, 0, then 0.54. So most of the color patterns here I'm using are from material design. So if you have any colors, you can go and get appropriate color palettes from material design. Okay, so now if you look at that page, right, by default my radio button has a gray color shade. Now let's go and do it for like if the radio button is checked, so what is going to be the behavior on the border colors. So again, target on the native control with a checked pseudo class. I'm going to have the border color to be slide green. So I'm going to use this 018786 class color palette. Okay, so I'm going to let's choose any of the radio buttons. Yeah, if you look at that radio button, the color is getting changed. So when I'm going to check that radio 2, you can see the green color at the outer ring. Now I need to target the dot in the center of that circle. So for that I need to target the inner circle. So copy and paste the same thing, and instead of this outer, just change it into the inner circle class. And here I just want to define the radius width of that circle. So again, like say position absolute, and here I just want to set box sizing as border box, and then I'm going to set the border radius as 50%, and again I'm just going to set the border style as I'm sorry, the border style as solid. Then let's say the border width to be 5px. Okay, and just let's check how the color appearance of the radio button. Okay, so we got a circle, but it is not aligned properly. So in order to position that absolute, just say like I'm going to adjust like 5px, then again left as 5px. Perfect. So now that darker circle has been positioned properly inside, is it aligned center? So I just want to change the color from black to a green one. So I can go and say like border color. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Like, so using this approach, we can create a custom radio button using the CSS one. I believe you guys have enjoyed this video. If you find any other approach to decorate the radio button using custom CSS, please share your thoughts on the comment box and leave your feedback on that. Thank you. We'll meet soon on the next video. Thanks for watching.